I never try and undervalue what it means to have joy amongst friends that you trust and feel welcomed in with. It really is meant to be a space that hosts with open arms for those who might be seeking that or want that or need that. So what this is a large warehouse space that a bunch of artists and organizations and activists, social practice collectives, all sorts of people use to make and collaborate and share together and gather. So my background is in music. I've done a lot of touring. Between touring, 6 months out of the year and coming back here, I was hanging out with a group of artists and friends who were just looking at the most affordable spaces we could find. And that group of friends looked at a couple places that didn't work out and then finally kind of settled on this one. So as you'll see around the space currently, we're working on a Christmas show that we do every year. And the collaborator of that Christmas show, Neil Frid, Terror Pigeon, I met through touring music and playing around the country. And so the desire was there to host other people, host friends that myself and others had made across the country and the world, and then have accessible and affordable space. Well, the history of the Christmas show is that Neil, Terror Pigeon, in 2010 or something, did a show in New York at a space that no longer exists, but that was kind of a model for this space, Silent Barn. Neil did a Christmas show in which different bands were invited to personify Christmas characters or holiday characters you wouldn't normally see, or their own holiday characters. And then they were to write a song from the perspective of that. And then Neil and other collaborators built sets for each thing, and you would tour around this Christmas wonderland. That show happened in New York, and then we did that for 2 years here in Austin. And then, because we always want to try new things, we started to adapt existing Christmas productions. So we did Christmas Carol, and it was like a hybrid of bands playing, and we would do scenes, and then the end of that show, Scrooge crowd surfs, money is thrown in the air, and then the Cratchits invite you to this room that you hadn't seen up to that point, that we deep fried 9 turkeys and cooked 50 pounds of mashed potatoes, and essentially the whole audience ate at the end with the Cratchit family, and it was very nice. So after that, we wanted to try something different, so we started adapting movies. So we did Batman Returns, we did Die Hard, we did Home Alone, and then this year we're trying our hand at The Shining. So that will be, or has been written by Shaboom, who is a trio of clowns, performers, the loveliest humans. They've adapted each part and are going to play it all, and I think it's going to be dumb and fun and silly and all the things. Man, I love our little community we've built here. I think as Austin continues to grow more and more unaffordable and inaccessible, the position we've been placed in is that we're one of the last remaining affordable spaces. So that's both for artists who have studio space, as well as people wanting to present work here. So as we've grown as an organization, we've become a formal nonprofit. So these days, a lot of that revenue is from grants or donations. Studio rent, we made an intentional decision 10 years ago to really cap that, and the mission of the organization is affordability. So in nonprofit land, for earned income, that's continued to shrink as a portion of how we're continuing to do things, and we've relied more on individual donations and grants, honestly. Across time, we have grown what started as a program that fiscally sponsors organizations, so we would help different organizations apply to grants they might not otherwise have access to. These days, that program has kind of expanded into helping individuals, organizations, collectives write grants, develop infrastructure, grow their practices, sustain themselves economically. And that, I think, in that same spirit of generosity has, in the long term, resulted on people who have returned that act of caring and wanting to donate or wanting to support the space through volunteering or non-economic means. Yeah, I think there's a look and feel to the space that draws people in. And then I hope that we're kind in a way of hosting and caring for people that's just returned.
It's like a shoe with sleeves for every little toe.
Isn't it something, Wendy? It's incredible for the foot and really for the entire body. This is how we're meant to be walking, Wendy.
We've been doing a lot of work in digital arts. That's been really exciting to work within experimental games, digital arts, and the internet at large, especially at a time where the internet continues to be a The tendency is to move to a complicated closed system, but I would hope that our digital ecosystems mirror the generosity we'd like to show in real life. We got a bus out there that we will in 2023 be hosting in other places with a focus on geography that might not have arts infrastructure or a music venue. And the goal there is not to tour shows, but to go places to host others in the same way we're doing here. I think I don't have any other choice, honestly, in that I find joy in this, and I find joy in hosting others. I find joy in helping others. I think you just be kind to people and they'll show you that in return. We are wealthy in many ways. It just doesn't happen to be with money.